Are you guys ready for the bloodbath that's
He's
coming?
even predicting a bloodbath. What does that mean? He's going to exact a bloodbath?
Getting some Toradol for my back and some fluids for rehydration. This is the Vegas nobody knows about. So since we decided to bug out, this is the direction we'll be heading, going towards Mount Charleston, and then we'll head north towards Utah. When we do our bug out, we want to avoid kind of the urban areas, or the areas that are going to be super populated. So we're going to stay on the outskirts of Las Vegas. So we're first going to head kind of out towards Mount Charleston, then we'll cut across and head northeast to Utah. Ladies, have you been wanting to get a rifle or a pistol but are unsure of the process and feel intimidated by the whole thing? Men, do you have a spouse or partner that is interested but hesitant because they don't know the process or what to get? I know how frustrating it can be, so today I'm going to help you guys with that process in terms of what rifles I use and what pistols I use for self-defense and at the range.
Developing tonight, 3 men facing serious charges.
We were the first to tell you last night 3 undocumented immigrants arrested after Palm Beach County deputies say they abducted and sexually assaulted
There was a
women.
lady that was just raped in Florida and it's trending on Twitter. So this lady was walking early Monday morning and she was attacked by one individual and threw her or abducted her into a car with 2 other individuals. They sexually assaulted her at one location, took her to another location, and then sexually assaulted her again.
The next part is very important. They're going to take you.
When I hear about situations like this, it makes me aware of my surroundings, a little concerned of what's going on. Obviously, this is Florida. I'm in Vegas, that's very far away, but that doesn't matter. When I typically go walking, I like to make sure that I'm carrying a fanny pack and I'll carry my pistol with me. Sometimes I think it's kind of excessive. I'm like, will I ever need this? Am I ever gonna have to pull out my pistol if someone attacks me? But I would rather have my pistol on me and never need it. So there was one situation a while ago. I was taking entry out. It was probably 8:45, 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I'm just gonna take her across the street to go to the bathroom. It's fine. And this individual was running in the park and I didn't realize what was going on. It seemed kind of out of place, but I kept entry on this side of the road and realized as the guy got closer, he was naked. And all I had on was a light jacket because it was kind of chilly outside. And I just thought, I don't have my pistol with me. I kind of wish I had my pistol with me just in case. The guy tried to approach me. I said, no, I'm good. Like, just stay there. I kind of put my hand up as kind of a guide reference. He clearly was on either some sort of drug or was on something. He stopped in the middle of the road, said, okay, turned around and left. Again, it worked out that he did leave. But for me, it was like, I kind of wish I had something with me just in case. Because I may not need to pull it out. I may not need it. But what happens if he decided to lunge at me? What happens if he decided to attack me? What happens if his brain flips a switch and then the guy that said okay and turned away didn't happen and it went kind of down a different pathway? So again, not that I want to constantly think of that or be in fear, because I'm not in fear, but at the same time I would rather be prepared and have something just in case. It's better to have and not need than need and not have. And that is why when I go walking, I'll carry my fanny pack with my pistol with me. So I recently showcased a video of drills I was doing at the range, and I posted that on Instagram. One of the individuals, panic buyer, said, Sig killed it with the rose. The whole package is crazy out of the box. Super impressive. He's absolutely right. The package is impressive. Not only do you get the SIG pistol, but you also get some dummy rounds, which essentially are fake rounds you can practice dry fire with. You also get a little safety package or a carrier box. So if you're at home and you have kids, you can put your pistol in there, use your fingerprint or a code to release the pistol. Also, what's really awesome, which I think is amazing, Lena created an online community with SIG to be able to have individuals that purchase the pistol, they can be accepted to this group, and not only can you have a conversation on there, ask questions, but it also has training and dry fire drills on there. So if you've never been to the range or you're hesitant to go to the range, if there's things you want to practice but you're not sure where to go or don't have any place to go, you can do those dry fire drills at home. And Lena has created this with SIG to essentially create a little place and course for you at home that you can utilize the SIG rose as well as the dry fire. This video is not sponsored by SIG. I just love the brand. Again, this is the 365 rose. I love this pistol. It's getting great concealed carry pistol. It is a little bit smaller, so it is a little bit harder to shoot, meaning it's a little bit harder to hit the target. But again, for concealed carry, this is one of my favorite pistols. As we move along, the next pistol we're going to talk about is the SIG 320 Spectre Comp. This is a 9mm as well. Both the Spectre Comp and the Rose was 9. I absolutely love this pistol. Out of all my weapons, rifles, and pistols, this is my favorite. It is the pistol I use for tactical games. Obviously, it's a little bit larger in size, as I kind of demonstrated. There are some similar features on it, but again, if you're a little bit more experienced and you want something a little bit bigger, or I'd say more in your hands, this would be the pistol you'll go to. Like I said, I've used this in tactical games. It is going to be a lot harder to conceal. I would have to conceal this maybe in my purse more so than a fanny pack if I was going to take this out in concealed carry. So I was a golfer for 10 years, and one thing that stood out with me is the grip in terms of the pistol here with the 320, but also my grip that I would have when I would hold a golf club. So when I would grab the golf club, I'd have my right hand and then my left hand, and essentially I'd have my hands wrapped around that club. Now, for those ladies, myself, Lena, maybe have smaller hands, when it comes to grabbing the pistol, I'll have that first hand up as high as I can. Because my hands, again, lady hands, a little bit more gun than my hands, I will actually take my first finger, and I learned this from Lena. I think she actually has 2 fingers. I just stuck with the 1 finger, but I'll take my opposite hand. I'm right-handed, so I'll take my left hand, and I'll wrap it around, both thumbs pointing down range, and I'll take my first finger here and wrap it on the outside of the trigger guard here. So this will help me hold onto the pistol, but also help with recoil management. So this is what's worked for me. Again, I've done a handful of dry fire drills, handful of days at range, and so I found what works best for me. Again, when you get lessons or take some one-on-one sessions, you might find that men and women are different. Again, my hands are smaller, so I'm gonna have to grip the pistol differently. This is why I recommend getting the SIG. It comes with lessons from Lena, and it allows you to give you some drills that can play around what works best with you. And when I say play around, I mean practice in terms of what is best. Again, this is what I've utilized for myself. Also, one thing to note, I have a short thumb. My right thumb is shorter than my left thumb. And when I go to grab the pistol, a lot of people have talked about in the past, like, oh, you know, just hit the trigger slide with your thumb. Well, I have a very near impossible ability to do that, right? So I can barely do that. So for me to do that, I have to adjust my grip so that I can actually push down on that slide, whether this is a 320 or even on the 365. Right? It's very hard for me to do that, and I can touch it, but I don't have enough pressure, so I have to readjust my grip so I have more pressure on my thumb. So again, I have to show that just to demonstrate. Again, men and women are different. We have different grip, length of our fingers, palms, etc. So with my short thumb, I have to adjust my grip. So if an instructor gives you a tool that doesn't work, that's okay. Don't be afraid to be dynamic. And like I said, Lena does their training not only in their SIG community, but also lessons. So I highly recommend checking that out and utilize that for your dry fire drills at home. So the 2 weapons I just covered were pistols. And I recommend, if you're new to firearms or learning how to shoot, I recommend the pistols. These are for home defense. I also keep them in my car when I'm traveling. Again, for concealed carry, I go with the 365. And then when I'm traveling or I'm doing practice at the range for tactical games, I'm going with my 320 Spectre Comp. Now we're going to move on to the rifles. So before I get into the rifles, the first weapon I'm going to talk about is going to be the shotgun. This is usually the first recommended weapon for home defense because of this. That sound specifically. Now, if you're new or timid to shooting, this isn't the weapon I would recommend, just because it is a little more complicated, a little more challenging to use, and if you don't have a little bit of practice or time at the range or instruction from an individual that knows, it can be a little bit much for someone that's new. I have used it for home defense, especially in 2020 when I was by myself. The sound alone, like I said, that could be something that could scare people off right away, which is good because you don't even have to fire the weapon. So like I said, it is a little more complicated to use. I've done drills myself, but I recommend if you do want to go with a shotgun, get some instruction, go to a range, get some reps under your belt. If you do decide to get a shotgun, I highly recommend getting some dummy rounds. Like I mentioned earlier, dummy rounds are rounds that are fake. This will help you practice loading your shotgun and how you want to have it ready. Everyone has their own preference. This is how I typically have my shotgun ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll take the round. These are not dummy rounds. I will put it in here, push it forward. This will hold 7 rounds, and I will have it loaded, ready to go. Then I will have it ready by my bedside. So if an intruder comes in, all I need to do, I'm going to rack it right now, I'll rack it, then a round will be in the chamber and be ready to go. I will just have to put it on fire and have to point at my target if this situation arises. Again, I highly recommend, if you decide to get a shotgun, get those dummy rounds. You can get them on Amazon. You can go to your local firearms FFL location where they have rounds available and pistols and shotguns you can check out. But please, highly recommend doing that so you have more understanding of how shotguns work and how to load them. It's a little hot in here. I should not video with a long sleeve shirt on. Also, we have 2 other guns we're going to talk about. These ones, just kidding. Super corny. All right, so we're moving along. So the next weapon we're going to talk about is this SIG cross rifle. This rifle is from the SIG Hunter Games from 2022. Is my first experience. This is a rifle you'll be using if you want to go for a hunt. If the end of the world comes and you need to get your food or food for your family, this would be the rifle I would recommend. In terms of order of rifles or weapons to get, this would be probably close to the shotgun. It's not going to be the first line of weapons choice for home defense, I would say. But if you're looking to get into hunting, I would recommend this rifle. I got a pen, I can mark them. Should I get close to his microphone?
Yeah, it's probably windy.
I was gonna say, man, it's such fucking so spread out. But remember when I first started shooting? Like it was like fucking the entire body and scattered with like rounds. And so I look at this and I'm like, all right, if I'm looking at the area of improvement, I have to make sure that I'm assessing my work. So I definitely am better from before, but obviously I still want to improve it. But I have to look, all right, instead of filling this whole body square, I'm now filling this small circle square. So before it was this, now it's so this is, I'm firing my SIG 320, the Spectre Comp. I am clear. See it? Spectre Comp, I love the flat trigger personally. I'm new to shooting, again, with some years of experience. I like that it's a little bit bigger of a handle. I have a 365 XL Rose I need for concealed carry, but for shooting for competition, I like this.